This week on Not Another Shooting Show.
I'm going to lick the edge of that cardboard. This'll turn out fine.
Oh, good flinch there, bud. The Meal Team 6, like 400-pound dudes in plate carriers that don't even reach their belly buttons.
Hey, my plate carrier doesn't reach my belly button either.
Pepsi should just change their name to Is Pepsi Okay?
Help put away the match, bitch. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show. Jeff, this week, Transportation Security Administration, that's the TSA, folks. They did it again. They did it again. At Washington Dulles International Airport, they prevented a West Virginia woman from bringing her handgun onto the flight. Thank you, TSA, from saving us from this woman who was clearly going to do some sketchy shit on a plane with her gun. But, Jeff, the question is, what gun was it that this woman from West Virginia brought on board? Was it A, an M&P Shield EZ, B, a Kimber Micro 9, or C, a Glock 43X?
I'm going with the Kimber Micro 9.
No, I'm sorry. Once again, you're incorrect. The answer was A, an M&P Shield EZ.
Oh.
The Grandma gun. I just dropped my phone that had the article on it. The only other thing I was going to mention from this article was that it was found with 6 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. But the magazine holds 8. So she's missing at least 1 for sure. I mean, some might argue 2. I'm more of the carry gun guy who, like, I just carry mag capacity and then load the top one in the chamber because, you know, if I need to unload it later, I want a place to put that round. I don't want to carry a random bullet around in my pocket if I have to unload the thing, you know? But, hey, they're safer, though, because she had a Shield EZ. Have you ever shot one of those dumb guns?
I haven't. I've always found them interesting as a concealed carry gun because they are, they're quite large for, like, an easy concealed carry gun.
Well, the EZ comes from the fact that it has like a 4-pound recoil spring because old ladies can't rack the slide on a regular Shield.
Oh,
I mean, they took such a great carry gun, the M&P Shield, and then they're like, how can we make this suck a lot, but old ladies will like it? That's the Shield EZ. That's what it is.
How many safeties does it have?
Actual safeties, well, it has a thumb safety. It's a single action pistol, though. It, like, needs them. It's essentially, it's the worst 1911 you've ever seen, basically, is what it is.
I know it's got a giant, like, grip decocker on, or
it's a grip safety.
And it is substantial.
And it is, but the gun is so small that with that grip safety, whenever I teach a woman how to, it's usually like an older gal who has sort of thin skin in her hand, in like the webbing of her hand between her thumb and index finger.
Okay.
If she has like a modern proper grip, it's hard for them to actually deactivate that grip safety.
Oh.
If they don't have enough, because you have to really be squeezing up towards the top to deactivate it, because that's where all the girth of the grip safety is. So it kind of sucks. So
so they made it so safe that it's too safe.
It might kill you because you can't take the safety off. Like the number of times I've had somebody bring that to a class and it won't go off because they're not able to depress it all the way you'd be amazed. It's kind of a dumb gun. I was actually asked this week, hey, what do you think of the Equalizer, which is basically like a high capacity Shield EZ? Fuck that gun. No, just get a Shield. Just get a Shield. You're an adult male. Just buy a real gun. We have a lot of silliness this week, though. There's that. There was also, you sent me one of the greatest photos I've ever seen on Reddit. It actually came from Instagram, ended up on Reddit. It's a picture of an alleged Secret Service agent. He's wearing a plate carrier. You can see the radio antenna sticking up from the side of the plate carrier. The plate carrier looks like one that you buy from, what is it, like AR500armor.com or whatever, like one of those little goofy plate carriers. It has Secret Service and police like on the same morale patch on it.
Yep.
The best part about it, though, what's the best part about this picture, Jeff?
the We the People appendix holster that is pinned to its spot by his plate.
Yes, an appendix We the People holster carried by a Secret Service agent. It's inside the waistband, but it's not hidden. It's not concealed. It's hilarious. This is clearly like a terrible, terrible stock photo of some kind that I don't know where it came from, but it's hilarious. It's so funny.
Right, because the armor is literally sitting on the back plate. So for him to draw this, he needs to move his plate carrier out of the way, because that's what you want to be doing in high stress situations.
Yeah,
and then
you got to pull the plate carrier up to get out your gun.
Right. That'd be so great if he knocked himself out with his own plate carrier.
I doubt there's a plate in that plate carrier. If there is, it's like cardboard or something.
Yeah.
Have you now? When it comes to carry holsters, though, I don't like shitting on holsters I've never actually used. Have you ever handled like their marketing's cringy as hell? But have you used a We the People holster?
I've never used them. I think that I got one in a trade, and like it was, I mean, fine, but like I could also probably be completely wrong, and it's just another, because like it just fits like the basic ass Kydex, and the only difference between it and every other basic Kydex company is that they put their little logo on the belt clip. No. Like other than that, it's just plastic tub.
And if you pay guys to shoot it really fast out of your holster, then you can charge more for it. Like that's basically the biggest differences I found in a lot of them. And these are ones, and I'm talking about ones I actually own. So they're, Tenacore all the way. Okay, what else? There was the I almost forgot to even add it to the rundown until you reminded me. The Acorn shooter.
Yup, that lovely individual.
This is I mean, the guy has got to be horribly embarrassed. I feel bad for him. But it's also one of the funniest things I've ever seen on the internet. Like, it's crazy. Here's the audio from it. This is from Police Post. It was all over the internet.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! He's rolling around. I'm hit! What? I'm in the car! I'm shot through the car! Oh!
I'm shot through the car. Okay. I'm shot through the car. If you did not see this video, Jeff, explain to people what this video is.
Well, he went full Cyril, for those of you that watch Archer.
I don't watch Archer. I don't know what that means.
Well, they'll get it. So, yes, this individual's walking. Something happens. You can't tell. He does 3 wonderful 80s action rolls on the concrete before drawing his firearm and then yelling basically suppressive fire and shooting his own car to pieces, hitting nothing. And I believe if I read the stories correctly, his partner also joined him because, you know, once someone's shooting, everybody's shooting.
But you don't forget, the arrested suspect was cuffed and in the vehicle that he's shooting into.
Oh, yes. Sorry. There was a dude in his cruiser that he was shooting at that did nothing to him that I'm aware of, that he just opened fire on.
He should have occluded his dot. He probably would have hit more stuff. He did have a dot gun. I think it's a PDP. I think. And we were sort of debating what the optic was. I thought maybe it was a Delta Point. You thought it was a Holosun. Odds are it's probably a Holosun, honestly. But yeah. I mean, I'm not a cop. I don't mean to shit on cops, but I'm going to shit on this cop. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you shouldn't be a cop. And he's already resigned, so I don't think he's going to be a cop ever again, I hope.
Right. We certainly hope. But
the memes have been fantastic, though.
I did see one, and it's quite legendary. It's the like 4 cops standing around a table of like, you know, what they have confiscated from naughty people or whatever, and it was just a pile of acorns.
Because that's the theory, that an acorn fell out of the tree he was walking under, and he freaked out and thought he got shot. And I mean, he's convinced I'm hit by an acorn.
Right.
The Instagram account, Spicy Smuggled Memes, all they do is steal other people's memes and post them, but they're good. I like that there's an aggregator of memes out there. The first one is Gandalf, and it's like the 3 pictures where he's looking around with the torch, and then acorns. And then the best one though it's a parody of a Gadsden flag. It's a squirrel holding a pistol and an acorn about to land on his head, and it says, "Don't startle me."
Hey, you got to watch out when those trees start speaking squirrel. You never know when they're coming for you.
God, dude, I hate squirrels. There's nothing more annoying than a squirrel when you're deer or elk hunting in the Black Hills. I want to murder them all. Because as soon as you start walking by, you're creeping along, and then they start making noise because they're all pissed off that you're walking under their tree. Like, I'm just like, motherfucker. After I struck out elk hunting out there in 2018, I went and shot me a squirrel, and then I ate his ass. It was delicious. You fry them up like hot wings, dude. You know, a little Frank's Red Hot. It's good stuff. Okay. There was another one you sent me. I didn't look at it until today, and I was amazed. I am going to post a picture of this, like a screenshot of it, on my Instagram, andy.e.605. The link to my Instagram's in the show notes. By the time this hits the air, I'll have a picture of this on my Instagram. I have this gun. I'm going to clickety-clack a little bit. Sorry, but it's for a good reason. This guy posted, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just trolling and it was for fun, and it wasn't. A guy got his finger stuck behind the trigger inside the trigger guard of his CZ P07. I have one of those guns. They're fantastic. I love this gun. It's my favorite carry gun. And as soon as I'm looking at the thing, I'm going, bitch, decock it. It's got a decocker. Well, after I read further into the comments, he had converted it. You can convert this gun to a safety, and he had done that, which I don't know why you would do that, but he did. So he has a safety-only P07, and it's stuck. And I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad. So I put my finger all the way in behind the trigger, okay? Because it's not a flat trigger, but it's not as curly as like the stock Shadow 2 trigger or even like the stock SPO1 trigger. It's sort of like if you just thought of a trigger without thinking about it, that's the sort of the curve you would think of. So I put my finger in there, like the second bone of my finger, and then I cock the hammer, and it's cocked. And dude, this thing, I can't get it out. Like, it's stuck.
Uh-oh.
Completely stuck. I was ready to completely roast this guy on the show, and I'm like, no, I'm not sure why you cocked the hammer when your finger was behind the trigger.
Because you do stupid shit.
But, yeah, I mean, I almost dislocated my thumb tonight putting my backpack with gun shit in my truck because it was so heavy. And it was like, it kind of slipped out of my hand as I was going to put it in the truck, and it started to grab my thumb, and I just let it fall to the ground because it was going to like dislocate or sprain ligaments in my thumb. I could feel it already.
Oh, yeah.
But like, I currently, like, ow, this is starting to hurt. I just decocked it because it was like cutting off circulation to my finger. Like,
can we not get our fingers stuck in the gun mid-show?
And here's the thing, though. What if this happens, and then the cops show up, and they're like, put the gun down. You're like, I can't. It's stuck, but I can't shoot it either. Like, they're not going to believe you because it's stuck in your hand. Like, you're going to fire it. Your finger's in the trigger guard. Keep your finger out of the trigger guard until your sights are on target and you're ready to shoot. Well, my finger has become a safety.
Right. They didn't account for idiocracy when they made those rules.
Right. I was completely ready to make fun of this guy, and I'm still gonna make fun of him for like, dude, why did you put your finger behind the trigger and then cock the hammer? Like, that's not a thought that would have occurred to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've done dumb stuff before where I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it's like, I wonder what happened to ow, don't do that, you know.
Right. Of course.
Like, I'm gonna
We're men. We're dumb creatures. It's just how we roll.
I'm gonna lick the edge of that cardboard. This'll turn out fine. Oh, I have a paper cut on my tongue. Imagine that.
Ow.
I witnessed my wife giving herself a paper cut on cardboard today. It was a doozy too.
Ooh.
Like it looked like a slip of a pocket knife.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Cardboard can be remarkably sharp, and you're like, oh, this is cardboard. It's no problem. Then you like reach into a pile of it, and you're like, okay, now my hand feels like I just put it in glass. Like that was dumb.
Unbelievable. Okay, I keep going to the wrong. That's next week's rundown that we move stuff to. I have a bunch of gun stuff to talk about this week.
Goody.
The stuff I did with guns. So I got last week. I mentioned how I got the optic plate for the PO7 or not PO7. My Tac Sport Orange. Sorry, anti clackety clack. I'm not gonna clackety clack. I'm just gonna like pick it up and mess with it. So I remember to talk about everything. So back in late 2018, I bought a CZ Tac Sport Orange to shoot limited. I was a limited shooter. This is back when 40 wasn't completely stupid. And I was shooting limited, and I shot it for the 2019 season, and it's a good gun. It really is. It's a very nice gun. They come with really light triggers. They're onto they've discontinued the Tac Sport Orange. Now they're onto the TS2. The TS2 Orange, I don't know if that's actually out. At Area 3 last year, oh God, what's his name?
Alexis Pena.
Alexis Pena, yes. Which I feel really bad about because he showed up on the wrong day to the Great Plains last year, and then I gave him endless shit for it. He had a TS2 Orange at Area 3 last year, and holy shit, that is a cool gun. Like, they really fix stuff up. The biggest thing with the TS2 is they flattened the trigger guard. That's the thing that's annoying about the Orange, the old Tac Sport, the round trigger guard. But anyway, so I had this gun. I shot it in limited for 1 year, and then Carry Optics became a thing in my life, and I never looked back. Outside of shooting production in 2021 for a little bit. And so I've had this thing that's a relatively expensive pistol. You know, I mean, I know there's open shooters and people like you who have like 17 Shadow 2s and you're like, expensive gun, like that's not an Infinity. I understand. But to my married to a Dutch gal ass, like a $1,700 pistol is like a fuck ton of money in a gun. So I have had this thing collecting dust for 4 years, and I wanted to do something with it. Limited optics is a thing. The Division is dumb in its current form, but it could be awesome. Or if they just like change Carry Optics so it's not, you know, the same Division plus Magwell, or minus Magwell. So I got the optic plate. I had a Holosun 507 comp that I just got. By the way, I'm pretty sure I'll make the rifle match down there. I'll bring you yours.
Yay.
I got a 9mm barrel, and as with most nice guns, I had to fit it, which is why nice guns suck. I hate nice guns. They're so much harder to deal with than my Glocks, because Glocks are easy. You just swap a part, and that's it. Like, you're done. You don't have to do anything. This, I didn't even know where, like, usually on YouTube, you can, like, search how to fit barrel for blank. Well, I did that, but nobody had a video for fitting a barrel on a Tac Sport Orange or a Tac Sport at all. Nope.
That's surprising.
So I didn't even know where to file. I knew I had to file because I couldn't completely close it.
Good indicator.
Yeah, very good indicator. I could not close the barrel. It would not go into battery. The slide was open about an inch.
Oh, wow.
It just wouldn't or not an inch, probably about a centimeter, half inchish.
Okay, yeah.
And the like the chamber part, where the ejection port is, it was just like ticked down a little bit. And then I finally found the dimension, comparing it to my 40 barrel, where you have to file. It's basically on the back of the chamber, where it meets the slide to like seal. Like that's where the filing needs to happen. And so it took a while to file those 20 hundredths of an inch off to get it to fit.
Yep.
And then I'm like, geez, after doing that, I sure hope it functions and it doesn't shoot out a battery like a SIG and blow the extractor out. And
that'd be embarrassing.
that would be embarrassing. So, but then I go to take my CZ Custom base pads off of my 40 mags and put them on my 9mm mags. And they won't go on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's the same gun, it's the same mag. Yes, there's some rails on the inside for 9mm because it's, a narrower cartridge. But I had followers that were narrow, that had the spacing, like it should, but the base pads wouldn't go on. Turns out I needed, not only did I have to fit my barrel, I had to fit my base pads. I had to
really
file on the
frustrating.
magazines so that the base pads would go on.
That's way too much effort for me.
Right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Nice guns suck. I can't imagine
yeah.
dealing with a 2011 where I got to fucking file and tune everything to make the thing keep working.
That's
Good
why the
hell. It
that's why
sounds
the
terrible owning a 2011, honestly.
Yeah, that's why the 2011 I had found a new home the first time someone asked for it.
Oh, my
So,
God. Like,
yeah,
an
it's
open gun.
frustrating.
Remember last week when I said I'm going to creep closer and closer to an open gun? Fuck that.
Yep.
No.
Dude,
CO at most limited optics for life. And it's probably going to end up being with like a Glock 34 anyway.
Right. That was my experience, is like shooting an open gun was like, I'm like, okay, so I've changed this, and this. Okay, it worked for a mag. Cool. Go to the next mag. Okay, now it's doing the fucking thing again. I don't know what to do right now. Like, I don't even clean my Shadow 2s. Like, I get made fun of for how little I maintained, like, the guns I already have. Why would I get something that
Right.
you have to, like, perform, like, some type of ritual before every match to get it to run correctly?
You have to burn sage and, worship the god of Cthulhu or whatever to get,
Right.
To make sure your mags feed. Here's another thing. I just remembered I had to go find my magazine brush because I haven't had to brush a magazine more than like once a year, and that's when it landed in like a rain-filled mud puddle for the last 4 years because I've been shooting
Yeah.
Glocks or Berettas, and they just don't care. They just
CZs
run.
Also, right. CZs also don't care. I don't take
I-
apart any of my mags.
CZ Shadow 2s, maybe.
Yeah.
Not Attack Sport Orange. No, not this magazine. Not this giant monstrosity. So I was the most worried about it, like, functioning. Like, oh, please, dear God, function. Like, work. I hope it works. The first bullets I shot through it yesterday, just took it to the indoor range here in town, shot it. The first shot I fired, I just ran the target out to like 5 yards, just so I knew the bullet would hit it.
Right.
I giggled my ass off after that gun went off because it didn't fucking move. Like, this is a 3-pound pistol, folks. I mean, it's like a spread out Shadow 2. They're about the same weight as a Shadow 2, but it's like a longer, taller gun. A Shadow 2 is a little more compact. My God, it's like shooting a really hot 22. It really is. It's so nice. The problem I ran into, though, was this is a dovetail optic mount because I'd looked around for milling options and I wasn't ready to commit to milling this,
Yeah.
but I ran out of vertical adjustment on this 507 comp.
Oh, wow.
I ran it all the way up and I was like, oh, geez. God, I hope I'm still low because I'm doing that, not because the optic is totally out of adjustment. So then I had it out about 15 yards, and it was basically hitting right around the sticker I put on there. And then I ran it out to 25, and it was the average of the group was favoring like the bottom of the sticker, but it was there. Like,
Okay.
so yeah, it's I and then I compared it to an SRO and held it next to it, and where it seems like the Holosun is taller than an SRO, but when I actually held an SRO gun next to it, no, the dot rides, like the actual dot itself rides higher in an SRO. So
That's super interesting.
yeah, that's one thing I
didn't
like
think
about
about that.
this 507 comp. Like, I'm gonna throw it back on my Glock, and I'm gonna mess around with just like a 407 or 507 on the TAC Sport, but just so it rides a little lower and I've got adjustment.
Yeah. This just tells me that CZ needs to not be a dumb fuck, and they need to make the TAC Sport 2 line optics ready, because optics are the future, so that we don't have to deal with dovetails.
You're 100% right. Like, why they don't just make... I mean, I know why they're not, because they already have the parts around. They already have the rear sights. They already have the
Yeah.
slides, or... I think the slides are actually different. I started looking around for optic cuts, though. Dude, it's fucking expensive to get one of these cut. Probably be like CZ Custom wants like $180 to cut one. I think Stonebridge Gunworks does them, but they didn't. It said not the old one, only the TS2, and I guess there's a difference in the slides, and it didn't specifically say TAC Sport Orange. I thought they were the same slide as the original TAC Sport. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, I may end up getting it milled just so the thing isn't riding super duper high, but
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm on Stonebridge Gunworks right now. The CZ TAC Sport 2 direct optics cut, $154. So.
yeah.
And there's a part of me, and this is maybe I'm an idiot for thinking this, but like companies have just a line for each of the optics, or just let's just all commit to the SRO footprint, or the SRO and the Acro footprints. Like, let's just commit to those and just make like a set for each of them,
Yeah.
and then you're done. Like, no more optics plates, because right now one of my Shadow 2's optics plates is coming loose, so I then stripped the screws trying to take the optic off.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's become its own headache. Luckily, I have 3 of them, so I still have a gun and a backup. But my third one is being, and this is why everyone who makes fun of me for having so many of them, this is why you have so many of them.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you have Glocks, you really only need 1.5, honestly. You don't really need 2. You just, I mean, I have 2 in case the optic craps out, honestly. That's the main reason. But I could just have a second slide. I actually have a 17 slide I could throw on, at the drop of a hat. That would be, it'd be fun to throw the SRO on that thing, because it's direct milled. It's a Brownells Glock slide.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a Holosun on it right now. It would be fun to put an SRO on it just to see what that's like, just to ride it a little lower. But anyway, yeah, so nice guns are a pain in the balls, but I had so much fun shooting this, though. I shot 200 rounds through it in about 15 minutes. I was having so much fun. Like,
Yeah, it sounds like a blast.
the shooting part of it was like I don't shoot heavy guns. I shoot, like, the heaviest gun I've shot in the last 4 years was a Beretta with a steel guide rod. Okay. That made it weigh about 34 ounces. The thing I was actually pushing into the gun because I'm so trained to return a plastic gun that
Oh, yeah.
I was bringing it down. Like, I would see the dot go past where I wanted it to be. And it wasn't just like the normal variation, when you're like shooting doubles or like a practical accuracy or something. It was dipping more than that. And I wasn't, I mean, some of the time was maybe just bad trigger press, but there were several times where I was like, "Oh, you're doing too much."
Yeah.
Like, I was doing too much to return the gun,
Yeah.
subconsciously.
Well, yeah, and that's I was actually watching something on Nine Hole Review about, because they were shooting the Hudson 9 the Dayland Defense is making, and they were talking about how, like, experienced shooters do push guns down. Like, it looks like we're flinching, but it's because we've calculated how much resistance we're
Right.
getting and what to put back into it. And so when you change that, we're like, wait a second, this isn't doing the thing I said it was supposed to do.
I saw Rob Latham in a video one time said something like, yeah, I have a flinch. I work damn hard for that flinch.
Yeah.
Talking about exactly that.
I got made fun of in one of my YouTube comments when my gun when it was empty, and they're like, "Oh, good fucking flinch there, bud." And I go, "Yeah, because
I worked hard for it.
Well, you remember all those other shots everyone was complimenting for how little recoil I have? That was the counteracting that I was putting into it. Was how much I counteract into it is that quote unquote flinch, and it's not because I'm, oh my god, the gun went off. It's it is giving me X amount of recoil. I must give it Y amount of return so that it equals out.
Yeah. Flinches are like real flinches are actually pretty rare.
Yep.
Even when I'm like, I work with a lot of new shooters. I had a lesson tonight with two very, very new shooters who brought like the two dumbest guns ever. Maybe we'll get into that later. But they're very nice people, and I loved working with them. They were great to work with. A true flinch is basically where you close your eyes and just kind of yank the trigger. Like, that's a flinch.
Right.
Where
Yep.
you're like, it's typically someone new. They're afraid of the recoil. And I did find out there are some newer shooters who are listening to this on occasion, Jeff. So just FYI.
Oh, hello, new shooters.
Yeah. If you're a newer shooter and you are shooting and you push the gun down after it goes click because you had a malfunction of some kind, or you ran out of ammo, or you were accidentally holding the slide stop down and it didn't lock open, that's not a problem. Don't try to fix it. Like, that's what we try to train ourselves to do as competition shooters. So don't try to fix that. You're not helping yourself. So, okay. You had a thing in the rundown. You had a bunch of topics, which
Yes.
we moved a number of them to next week because they some of them were deeper than I was able to go
Yeah.
tonight.
Giggity.
But should gun people go to the people or stay in their line or stand by their line? What are you talking about there, Jeff? What do you speak of?
So I'll start with it's the idea of gun people have a tendency to say, hey, this is what I'm allowed to do. You should be okay with it. And a little bit, and sometimes, and they have a tendency whenever someone's like, that kind of looks not cool, to be like, well, that's what it is. So what brought this idea to mind was I was listening to someone talk about USPSA, and I was reflecting on my YouTube comments, and I get a lot of people.
Why did the little Tiffany have to die?
Yes. Why did little Tiffany have to die? Why are you shooting up a school? Why are you shooting up this? Blah blah blah. And for all of the views I get, for literally 50 to 70% of my comments to be, why are you shooting children? Why are the targets black? Or sorry, why are the targets brown? And why are you shooting them in the head whenever it's a headshot? Made me think about, because I brought up the idea with someone of like, oh, well, maybe we should use like lollipop targets or lollipop steel and IPSC targets. And they're like, no, that's our sport. We're not going to change to appease other people. And I was like, oh, okay, I get the point, but it was, where does that start to become an issue? So like, Scott Arnberg, our area director in Exile, talked about it one time of how do we get Pepsi or Coke or Ford Motor Company or, I don't know, Reebok to sponsor a USPSA match. And I doubt that company is going to want, they're going to send a representative because they don't know what USPSA is, and they're going to go, why are you shooting the brown ones? Why do those look like children? We're not sponsoring this. And so it becomes the game of how much should you give up to appease a larger group, or maybe not appease, but like, how do you make your sport, your hobby, your passion more presentable to people who may not have experience with it? Like, where's that line?
I sort of approach this from the angle of I don't care if Pepsi sponsors our sport. Now, that might be controversial to some people.
Because you're a Coke man.
I am a Coke man, actually. I go to a restaurant and I'm like, yeah, I'll have a Coke. Is Pepsi okay? Mountain Dew, please. I'm that anti-Pepsi.
Pepsi should just change their name to Is Pepsi Okay?
Yeah. Is Pepsi okay? No. Here's the thing. Like, our sport is our sport. And I am one of these people who is a realist. And I understand, like, our sport is tiny. Okay? There are, I think the last number I heard was we have just shy of 40,000 members in USPSA. The number's maybe gone down lately. Who knows? That's tiny nationwide. Think of how many people play golf. Or let's keep it in a shooting sport. Trap shooting. I mean, registered ATA shooters. There's a shitload of them. I don't know how many, but I mean, my dad was I just saw a trophy. He had a B-class ATA first place from a shoot somewhere back in the, like, I think it was 1980 when I was at my mom's today. You know, there's way more trap shooters than there is USPSA shooters nationwide.
I just Googled it because I was actually interested in that. And Statista, I don't know how accurate it is. It says there's 4.7 million trap shooters in the United States.
Oh, I believe it. And I'm sure not all of them are registered ATA members or whatever, you know, but...
Right, they're the dudes that are like, hey, let's go to the trap range for blah, blah, blah.
Oh, the number of people I know that go to the... Like, there's a couple of places around Sioux Falls here that have, like, huge trap shooting nights. Like, there's, I think, like, Garrettson is Wednesday. I think Crooks is on Thursday. Somebody else is on Tuesday. Somebody else is on Monday. You know, like, my club, we have 3 traps. We just don't even try to... I guess, before I was on the board at our club, we tried to have a trap league, and it didn't happen because everybody's already going to these other places, to the established clubs that are doing it. So, you know, about the only time our traps get used is for the high school season. That's it. But
well, and there's high school trap teams. Like, that alone is a, like, there's
how many
not
high school USPSA teams are there?
I mean, that'd be cool as fuck.
It would be, yes, 100%.
I mean, there are high school steel challenge clubs, but
yeah, I mean, it's more approachable. For sure.
Because it's we're shooting 22s at giant
rimfire.
steel.
The rimfire makes it very, very approachable, and
the steels are big squares instead of like humanoid shaped things. I think,
as far as USPSA goes, like I said, I don't care if we have Pepsi because I just want the sport to be good, you know.
Right.
And as far as, you know, I've heard people talk about we got to do this and we got to do that and the marketing and I don't disagree with these things. I'm not opposed to it forever and ever. And I'm not officially a candidate for Area 3, but I turned in all my petitions, so I should get the nod that I'm officially a candidate here this week. By the time everybody hears this, I should be a candidate.
And your membership gets banned.
And yeah. But here's the thing, though. I'm not opposed to it forever and ever. I'm opposed to it right now. I don't think now it's not a big concern that we appeal to Pepsi as a sponsor. Okay. I don't think Federal's doing anything with us anymore. That's a bigger problem for us, I think.
Right. We've gone so far off the rails that we aren't even appealing to the people we should appeal to.
Right.
Because, like, one example of this, and I haven't looked deep into it because trying to watch this stuff gives me a headache, but, like, the tactical games had, like, a list of legitimate sponsors. Like, they had like Under Armour as a sponsor. So like the idea that like our sport can't appeal because guns isn't correct.
Under Armour got a huge hunting line. I mean,
Right,
they're
right.
deep in the hunting space, so like they're not entirely afraid of firearms.
Exactly.
Not at all.
Exactly. Well,
They
but
have tactical boots and clothing
Right.
too.
Right. And so again, this is what the question is like, where should, I mean, we're keeping it more specific to like USPSA, but like, yeah, it's like, A, where's USPSA going wrong? And B, like, what little changes could we make to make ourselves more appealing? But yes, we do need to change the entire board, because yes, I don't want them getting any more money whatsoever. Like, I don't need to pay for Area 2's match director's travels budget, or a certain person from our club to get flown to matches that they don't even participate in. Like, I agree to that point, but like it was just one of those interesting questions. It's like, at what point do you kind of give up the heritage, but to allow yourself to grow into something more, something bigger? Because like, hey, I mean, it would be cool to get paid to like do the sport. I'm just throwing it out there instead of and it not just be the 12 sponsored shooters that everyone can name, or if you're female, it tends to be easier to get sponsorships.
Yeah. Big tits sell. I mean,
Yes.
You know, if you're hot and you got big boobs, you don't even have to be that good at shooting. It helps. If you're good at shooting and you have big boobs, like, fantastic. If you're really good at shooting, but you don't have big boobs, it can still, you just have to be better at shooting. That's the only thing.
Yeah, as long as you're a female, and especially if you're younger, which sounds creepy to say it that way, but like they always are encouraging like youth shooters.
Oh, yeah.
But it's frustrating that like there are so few opportunities as a shooter to find sponsorships and find like a market for what we do, because of negative connotations from both our sport and from like it just being about guns.
Yeah. As far as the target thing goes, I never thought of the pepper popper or the mini popper as a humanoid target. Someone
I didn't
actually
either.
Someone actually mentioned that to me. Well, it kind of looks like a person. I'm like, it does?
Right. Like you have to squint and turn your head sideways, and then you're like, I guess it looks like
Sort of, kind of, yeah, okay.
like you could kind of say it looks like the Green Ivans from like a military like 600-yard range, sort of. But you're like, I mean,
Well, they're called a pepper popper. I'm like, okay, so peppers grow like carrots, and then they would, if peppers grew in the ground like carrots, they would look like that. Is that what they're talking? Is that why they're called a pepper popper? Like, it made no sense to me.
right. I didn't take a second look at them, because I didn't like you. I was like, oh yeah, that is a popper.
Yeah.
Poppers are annoying targets. End of equation.
Oh, I love
Like,
poppers. I love
I do too.
poppers.
They're
I
super-
love them. They're my favorite.
The feedback from Steel, like that's one of those like ways to appeal
No.
is like putting more steel out there that doesn't look like small children.
No, they're
because-
my favorite because I made them my bitch. That's why
Yeah.
they're my favorite.
And
I
they're-
am not
they're
afraid of
super
them anymore.
They're super satisfying when you go ding 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 ding. You're
Yes.
like, yeah, and then when you go ding 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 ding, miss, and you're like, I don't want to be Eric Steiner. God damn it.
Fuck. But here's the thing, though. Like, as far as the cardboard targets go, the USPSA target, which was the original IPSC target, it's the the metric target, which,
I've always found that weird.
well, it used to be called that. I am glad USPSA like redefined what they're called. Like, the head target is USPSA. The turtle shell is IPSC. I was very glad they changed the nomenclature for those, because then it actually made sense. But I think the IPSC target is just a better target. It's a
Yeah.
more challenging target, but it's still a fair target. You don't get this ridiculous amount of D zone on the bottom, but you still get a generous C and D zone on the bottom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I also like that It retains its heritage though by keeping the A zone high in the target. You know,
Right. There's an element to that for sure.
I just think it's a better target overall. And Area 3 last year, did you shoot Area 3?
Yes.
The only stage that had USPSA targets was the one with the half-size targets.
Yeah, the mini targets that are for any club that's thinking of using mini targets, don't.
No, unless you're using them for 3-gun and you're using them as rifle targets, then they're great.
Or
But-
you use them at indoor matches where you're trying to replicate range.
No, even then they
fine.
suck because then they get shot to shit and it sucks.
Well, they're going to get shot to shit regardless, yes.
Well, yeah. But I didn't really notice that they were all IPSC targets. Like, I didn't care.
Right. You didn't even think about it until afterwards, listen to like Scott talk to Joel or
Honestly, yeah, I didn't really notice until after I heard. You're 100% right. Like, that was the first time I realized, oh, they were like all IPSCs.
Yeah. It's one of those things that like people kind of like reflexively are like, oh my God, no, we're not changing anything. And you're like, we changed everything and you didn't notice. And they're like, wait, what? And you're like, yep. We like if I paid a dude to cut all the heads off of all of our poppers and they were just the lollipop, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even notice. You just look at the stage like, okay, there's that popper, da da da. Like it wouldn't even cross your mind how little of a change it would be. But if you bring it up as like a standalone topic of like, we must change the sport to be more appealing to outside, you're like, nope, hard pass. And I'm
Dude,
like,
that's me. Like, I was
Right.
that. Like, when you brought this up, I'm like, no, don't tell me what to do. You know?
Right. It is there. I kind of equate it. Well, it's kind of a natural human reaction. I find it very strong in like conservatism and especially like kind of like libertarianism like mindsets. Is they're like, you're trying to tell me what to do, and I'm like, I'm literally telling you to do the things you're already doing. You're like, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do the things I don't normally do, and you're like, but I'm telling you to do the things you do. I'm so confused now.
I still do them, but
But you told me to, and so now I'm pissed off.
I know. Don't tell me. But I think for me, part of it comes like the whole thing about like, let's get sponsors and we're gonna have a YouTube channel and we're gonna put this on the Olympics and television and we'll be on NBC again. Like, okay, first off, that's all a pipe dream. Okay, I think the sponsors for events, like more mainstream sponsors, that is an attainable thing. There are some mainstream companies out there that are not as afraid of the shooting space as others are, and I think that's an attainable thing.
And I think part. Okay.
Well, what I was getting at was my sort of reaction, sort of my gut reaction. Like, I just care about the sport. Like, this is an organization that deals with a sport, and yes, we have sponsors that help with things and whatever, and okay, but I don't want us to like the NFL is an ad agency.
Correct.
It really is. Like, they sell shit. Yes, they have this product that everybody loves, but good God, that is like the greatest radio or television station ever. You know,
Yeah.
it's just all it does is make money.
It only exists to sell merchandise and ads,
Yes.
like as a concept, and
That's where all the money comes from.
Right. I mean, they literally are like, you know what? Stop the sport. We got to put out some ads. Like, y'all just stop moving for
You
a
know,
second. We're doing some ads.
If NFL teams quit selling tickets to games and you couldn't watch it anymore, it would still be the most popular sport in America. If you couldn't go to the game, you know,
Yeah.
they just played it in a vacuum, but it was still on television, everybody would love it. It would still
yeah,
be fantastic.
Right, because they make like 1% of the revenue from like at the stadium, like ticket prices and the like concessions or whatever. Like, it's like 1% of their revenue. They probably don't even pay one. They don't probably even pay
I don't think
their,
it's that low, but it's not. I don't think it's the majority of a team's revenue.
Right. But yeah, it's so yeah, it's like also, I mean, USPSA is a sport going on the other to defend the other side. Yes, I don't believe that we should change literally everything about it because there is that like threat of because a sport that's actually watchable is Pro-Am.
Yeah.
USPSA isn't watchable.
It's not a watchable product in its form. No. Like
Right.
when I show people videos and there's cardboard. Like, I actually showed a video of one of my match videos to my class a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And I'm shooting a bunch of cardboard, and they're kind of like, okay. And then there's an array of steel, and I go, ding, 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 ding. And there was a dude in the class goes, oh, that was satisfying.
Right.
You know, like it has to be presentable to where it's understandable, unless there's the only way it would be presentable as like a television product is if the targets were able to like tell you like alpha.
Oh, yeah, they're like auto scored, or they're like on a delay, so that like you, basically it wouldn't be a live production. It would be a like newsroom production. Where they're like, oh, here's Max Michelle,
kind of like Three Gun Nation was.
Exactly, yeah, and it's like, yeah, here's Max Michelle running this thing, and so okay, he's got 2 alpha, blah blah blah, like that puts his hit factor, or that puts his score here, like that's how this is how it compares to everybody else. Like, it would literally have to be that, because I had a friend of mine explain this for UFC is why Joe Rogan was the best host they could have ever gotten, is because he understood the sport and he could explain it to laymen.
Yeah.
So that they could tune into a UFC fight and they're like, why is that dude got his leg over that dude's neck? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And like Joe Rogan is like, oh yeah, he's like trying to put him in an omoplata, and like, oh, he's going for the triangle now, and da 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 da, and like a triangle is trying to do this, and like he's explaining it as it's going on, and it's explaining it to the million people watching so they understand it, because like our scoring system, like at its heart, it is point per second.
Yeah.
End of equation. But like actually like seeing it like on paper was weird. And yeah, it isn't satisfying to watch. Whereas like golf, even, you can like, oh, the ball went really far. Good job. Oh, the ball didn't go as far.
But
That
how
sucks.
easy is it for the audience to understand what's happening? That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And if it's not easy for them to understand, then it's not going to be watchable by the average person. Now, having watched a lot of like the thing that got me into practical shooting was Three Gun Nation. That was what sucked me in. I found that on Sportsman Channel back in the day. I'm like, that's awesome. I started looking for 3-gun matches around Sioux Falls, and there's like, holy shit, there's a club doing that. I want to do that. You know, that's what got me in. But watching old 3-Gun Nation episodes back in the day, if you can find them on the internet anywhere, the color commentary was not good. Okay,
Right.
You can tell these are like sponsored shooters, or the guy in charge of the sport, or the match director. These were not broadcasters, and
Right. And
I'm
they
just
went the
gonna
wrong
I'm gonna be very cocky and say if there's ever television coverage of USPSA again, I should be the color commentator, because I have actually done sports on the radio. I did baseball, football, basketball. Like I've done it, and I'm going to be very cocky about it, because there's a way of doing it and there's a way of not doing that. And and like what you were saying about Joe Rogan and UFC, like it's got to be done a certain way.
Right. And you're 100% right. Like, you would be the perfect choice, because like one of the examples I just want, maybe we can end it with, is like Firepower United posted a video of a rifle like bullseye match, or maybe it was like a 5-shot falling steel, but it was in like Norway, and it was these two dudes online, and like they started standing, and they like went to position, and they like fired their 5 rounds, and this was a nationally televised like competition.
Really?
This isn't, and this was in like gun fearing.
Norway likes their rifles.
Well,
they like their rifles in Norway.
But that's the thing, is it's like, as long as you can get the sport presentable to the population, I mean, IPSC, the worldwide like thing, I don't know if they count USPSA. I'm not 100% sure, but they say they have 200,000 active members around the world. Like, if you can make a sport presentable to a people, they will watch it. And it's like, Norway apparently likes watching, or another one is the biathlon. Is that the right one? Where they do the skiing
Olympics
and the shooting.
Yeah, they ski and then they shoot a 22.
Right, like
some crazy. It's a 22 rifle that makes an open gun look like a revolver.
Yes,
They're crazy.
It's stupid, and they should go back to the original rules where you had to use your country's military rifle,
Yeah,
or you had to use a rifle of military caliber, like that. But yes, it's you can make shooting presentable to an audience. Maybe USPSA isn't the game for it, but there's a conversation to be had. It's like, hey, we could like make shooting presentable to the general population, and then maybe they might not look at guns as scary, and they might be like, oh, you do that weird competition thing. High five.
You know what? I had bumped this to next week's episode, you talking about guns and pop culture, but this makes me think of what you just said made me think of this, making it more palatable, whatever.
Right.
It's palatable as hell in the U.S. Guns are very palatable as long as they're in a movie or a television show.
Well, and if they're done in the right way with the right people.
Well, no, I mean, it doesn't, like, you can hold it stupid. You can allegedly be the greatest shooter ever, Ziva David in NCIS. She holds it like a clamshell. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But she can snipe that guy from 50 yards with her pistol.
But you know she's the hero.
But right.
That's the key. And it's like part of the problem with guns in modern culture is kind of the gun owners being obtuse to the fence sitters. I'll use a simple example of like the MEAL Team 6, like 400-pound dudes in plate carriers that don't even reach their belly buttons, carrying full
Hey,
ARs.
my plate carrier doesn't reach my belly button either, fucker.
Haha. But they got their ARs slung in the front with mag-inserted bolt closed, getting Chipotle. Like, as a dude,
wrong.
Right? Like, as a dude who carries a gun and like is around guns a lot, I would be sitting with my hand on my gun, like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, what's your fucking plan? But like, the vast majority of people never experience violence. They never experience like the positivity of firearms, or like the fun, the community, because our community is so elitist and toxic sometimes.
Yeah, it
like,
can be.
The worst thing I've ever been told in public was at a shooting range. I was working at a shooting range. The owner's son, who was like 10 years old, was standing next to me, and this old boomer walks up to me and tells me a joke. Oh, he had meant it as a joke, and I was like, there's a 10-year-old standing next to me. Why the fuck would you say that? Like, what? And it's like, we sit here and we complain like, oh, why do all these people not understand like guns are good and like guns can be like a positive in someone's life, and then but their only interactions with it are either like a negative, or they see a shooting on TV, or they see a bad police shooting, like an acorn dropping on a dude's head and him shooting up a fucking car. And then like that's all they have to go based off. They don't have a positive like, hey, here's some people having some camaraderie and like participating in a sport that just happens to involve firearms. Like, they don't have that positive message, and like shoving it down their throat by like, yep, here's me open carrying my SKS with a bayonet attached while I get my groceries at Walmart. It's not convincing them. I promise you. I know these people. I was these people. It's not convincing them. They're just like, we definitely need to take your guns away. We definitely don't think you need guns because you think you need an SKS at Walmart at 11 o'clock at night getting your groceries. Like, you do not seem mentally stable. I agree that like people who are walking around Walmart with an SKS, that doesn't help the cause. It really doesn't. It just makes gun owners seem crazy. But at the same time, though, the general public, they're totally fine with guns as long as it's in fiction. But if somebody who's actually skilled is running around a course of fire scoring points in a game, like, that's somehow abhorrent or not okay. It's scary because they don't understand, like, they don't associate it with like high level competition. It's kind of like to use a UFC example. You watch UFC 1 and everyone's like, "Oh, look at these meatheads beating the crap out of each other in this stupid octagon. Like, these guys are idiots." Now it's an internationally recognized sport that is there's participants from every continent that has habitation on it. Like, it has become this like international juggernaut because people now don't look at martial arts as like, "Oh, this is a McDojo of like, oh, some fat retired dude teaching shit that doesn't work." They're like, "No, this is like a dude that fought in the UFC and like he's teaching some shit. Like we need to listen to this guy." And like, so there's ways to like make an activity more palatable to people without also like offending them as you do it. Like, you almost have to just like ignore them. Like, you have to ignore them but acknowledge them weirdly and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
like we're just some dudes that like to hang out in dirt pits on Saturday or Sunday mornings, and we are just participating to get really good at a skill, nothing more." Like, have so like another 10% of the comments on my YouTube channel are like, "Oh, so like if you're training like that, you like entered the fatal funnel and you like you didn't pie the corner and you reloaded in the open and did it." And I'm like, boys, boobalas, guys, I'm playing a game. I'm playing a game to a high level. End of equation. If I needed to go clear a room, I'll go clear a room, but that's not what I'm doing.
You need to I'm sorry. I love you, Jeff, but you really need to work on your reloads. Like,
You are correct.
your
100%.
reloads, especially your first person videos, your mag and your gun are not even close to the same angle. Like, it's bad. It's terrible. It's the worst I've ever seen. Like, you're not just missing the mag well, you're like pointing your mag north and your gun is pointing west. It's not even close.
At least I haven't pulled a Cody Axon and thrown a mag over a burn.
Did he really?
Yeah, he threw it from bay 2 to bay 3.
Like, just trying to reload?
Yeah, he reloads so hard that he threw it over the burn.
Oh God, that's funny.
But yes, my reloads, like,
Your reloads are bad. And I just got a magwell, dude. Like,
but they're fast as fuck. And like, all y'all that do the like stop your mag in the thing, you need to just jam that fucker home, because my finger doesn't even feel pain at this point from the amount of times I've jammed it between the frame and the mag. Like, I don't know, I just throw mags in there and it works.
Okay, I gotta pee, dude.
Okay.
Right. If I end up leaving this in, I just took a pee break, and on my way there, my son, we're recording this Sunday night. Tomorrow is President's Day. My son does not have school the next day. My youngest was playing Call of Duty in the basement family room, and he has fallen asleep to the sound of himself respawning and not moving, and distant gunfire in the multiplayer. And then occasionally there's loud gunfire and he dies. And then he respawns. It can be very relaxing.
Gunfire can be very relaxing.
It can be. Oh, it can be. Okay. You know, Ben Barry might be the greatest board member in the history of USPSA. I don't know. That could be hyperbole, but I don't think it is. I think he may be the greatest board member in the history of USPSA. Listened to his podcast yesterday on my way home from my daughter's gymnastics meet, and he was kind of laying out all the stuff that had happened in USPSA here lately, and there's nothing major. I'll get into the board meeting agenda here coming up, but nothing major happened recently. But he was talking about the Area 6 match is happening, and it's going to be a staff reset match, which they're very fond of there in the Southeast, and I'm glad they are, and I'm glad they're able to do it. And I listened to him state the case for it once again, and I was very glad that they're able to do it. And at the same time, I just don't see how it could possibly work here, how it could happen, because we just don't have the people.
And if you want to pay $2,500 per stage in fees for the ROs,
Well, they're only charging $200 for the match, though.
I know, but he was offering something like $200 or $200.
No, like staff's getting $200. Like that's what they get.
And if you're farther than 300 or
Then they
farther
get a
than
little
50 miles,
extra.
they get $300 for the hotel room. So
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there as like, if that was Area 3, everybody would be getting that stipend, and so that would be $2,500 per stage just in ROs.
The 2,500. I don't get your math.
So 2 ROs running and then 3 extras to help them reset.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay, yeah, 2,500. I mean,
At minimum, it's $1,000 a stage.
if the match is well attended, like Area 3, I thought was a really good match last year, but it was not as well attended as it has been in the past.
Yep.
The one thing they did a little, I mean, they added this to, and this is the main crux of the topic. Here's where I'm going with this. Like, this is sort of like gone in a bunch of circles, and yes, I've never had an actual conversation with Ben Berry, but I've messaged with him on the internet a fair bit, and I really like the guy. I can't wait to talk to him sometime. But the thing you put in the rundown, and I thought about it listening to that, is they're doing cash payouts for Area 6. They did this at Area 3 last year as well, along with prizes that are just sort of handed out. And Jeff, how do you feel about cash payouts at a match in USPSA?
I think they're an awful idea that only benefits the GMs.
Okay. Well, that was very succinct. I was waiting for you to talk for another minute and a half.
Oh, well,
At least-
I
You don't have to, no. I have 2 opinions. It just depends on which hat I'm wearing. If I'm wearing my match director hat, I love the idea of cash payouts, because then I don't have to deal with a prize table.
right.
Like
They're
a
simple.
prize table, like you may think prize tables are cool. Let me tell you about prize tables as a match director. Prize tables are a fucking nightmare. They are. It's the worst, grossest thing I have to deal with. Like, I'm very thankful for sponsors we get for the Great Plains match. I really am. So grateful. I'm glad there are companies out there willing to send us stuff. Some of them kind of take advantage, because I asked for a dollar amount of product or certificates, and then, okay, $1,000 worth of product to be a sponsor of the match. Great, and then they send us a bunch of $25 gift certificates.
Oh yeah,
That's fucking
bullshit.
annoying. Okay,
Wait,
I'm going to I'm going to specify. And part of it was my fault. I didn't specify. I left the door open. Okay,
Right.
So I'm going to specify in the packages that go out to sponsors this year that, look, any gift certificate you give us, you have to be able to buy something. And I'm just going to basically put it at, if it's gift certificates, it's got to be $100. Like, I'm
Right.
not handing out $125 gift certificates. Like,
Right.
that's not going to happen this year.
A buddy, a friend of mine who runs a match, commented that a company, well, it wasn't Atlas, but we're going to use Atlas as like a stand-in for them. It'd be like Atlas sending you a bunch of $25 gift cards. You're like, cool, you sell $5,000 guns, but I have a $25 gift card.
gift card to Atlas. Oh, thanks.
Cool.
I can buy a quarter of a magazine. Great. This is awesome.
Exactly.
I got a discounted magazine. Okay.
Right, and you're like, thanks, I guess. Like, can I stack these together?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's the part that's annoying. But as far as the cash payouts go, from the MD respect, I think they're fantastic, because it's such an easy way to deal with it.
until you're getting 17 text messages a day from everyone who thinks they earn money from you. Like, quoting Scott Harnberg, he was getting texts before the match ended.
Yeah. That's. I would have never guessed. Like, if I thought I was winning money, like, remember I was texting you about my trophy from Iowa section. Like, have you gotten your trophy from Iowa section yet? I haven't got my trophy yet from Iowa section. And then It
I
turned
thought you
out
just
they
do
were.
that to rub it in.
I wasn't doing it to rub it in. I was actually, dude. I haven't won a first place anything trophy since 2019, and
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows how proud I am of my performance at Iowa section last year and how I beat you, and Steven. And
Yes.
because I forgot to mention it last week in the show. And meanwhile, he's like shooting 5 matches a week. I mean, he's going to destroy me at every match that this year once he gets back from whatever military shit he's got to do. But, like, it wouldn't have occurred to me to even, like, I was concerned after like 4 months, like, where's my trophy? I thought I got a trophy. Like, cause I didn't win a lot of trophies growing up. So like, I'm not going to lie. People who shit on like the A class, B class, C class, D class trophies, at nationals D class trophies, okay, maybe that's kind of lame, but like at a section match, no. That's part of what has made me hungry in the sport was winning. I got second place C class at the first Great Plains section I went to down in Omaha.
Yeah.
It made me hungry. Like, hey, I fucking did something,
Right. 100%. 100%. I lost my last A class medal to a guy named Magnus who I want to strangle, but he's such a lovely dude.
I connected with him on Instagram this week. He had some funny ass comments. Like, we could also do the Magnus comment section because he had some funny shit on his Instagram. Oh my God. It was stuff from YouTube. It was priceless. My God, was it funny. But anyway, the cash payouts, like, I would be prepared to write if I'm doing cash payouts at the match, which I haven't exactly decided if I'm going to do that this year or not. I'm writing the checks and handing them out the day of. You got to stay if you're going to get your cash. Like, I'm not doing all this paperwork afterwards. Like, I'll sit down day of the match and I'll write all these checks. But if you're not there, the next place down's getting it.
I don't disagree with that.
Help put away the match, bitch. Like, help put away the match.
So I guess it won't go to all the GMs.
GMs, I'm talking to you. Help put away the match. Don't be a bitch. Don't run to your car in the parking lot and hang out and drink beer while everybody else is putting away the match. GM doesn't mean not going to put away the match. Okay?
Right.
Don't be a bitch. You're not that big a deal. Okay? You're a good shooter. You're not that big a deal. Okay? No one paid you to be there. Help put away the match. When it's a section match.
You will if you give them cash payouts.
Yeah, I might be able to get them to help out if they. And I don't mean just like haul one target stand to the shed. Like, that's not helping. Okay.
Right.
At least haul a couple of walls. Like, the worst tearing down of a section match I ever helped with was at your club, 2019. The most miserable weather at a match ever, and it didn't even rain.
Oh, it was like 119 degrees that year. Like, that one's still a legend at our club.
It's legendary. I remember we pulled into the parking lot at ENGC, and your club, like the USPSA bays, like the pistol bays, they're in an old gravel pit. Okay,
Yep.
There's no wind. Okay, if you've been to Area 3, yes, that's also in Nebraska. But there's wind there because it's all above ground. We're basically in a mine at ENGC.
We just need to put an overhang.
The temperature was in the 90s, and the humidity, which is rare in this part of the country, in the upper Midwest, it's rare for humidity to, like, daytime humidity to be in the 60% range. Like, that's pretty common in the South, but, like, up here, it's still, like, even when it's humid and gross, it's like it drops a lot lower. It was fucking awful. It was the worst weather I've ever been in. A buddy of mine got heat stroke, or not heat stroke, but like he was not doing well. Like, we had to tell him to put the wall down and just go get in the car.
Yep.
He was not doing well, and it was terrible. But like, just help put away the match for the love of God. At a level 2, just help.
It's such a simple thing. Like, whatever stage you ended on, you just pile
just
everything, and then carry it all to wherever they tell you to carry shit. Like, but yes. So going back to cash payouts.
Cash payouts is the actual topic here. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, we got a little distracted. So the match
We're
director said
drinking
if
more
you-
this week too than we were last
Correct.
week for sure.
So cash payouts as a match director you like because of simplicity, but as a competitor, what's your opinion?
I'm not opposed to it to a point. I don't love the idea of. Here's the thing, though. Like, I'm a shooter who does not give a shit about the price table. I really don't. If there is a price table, yeah, I find myself falling into the trap of I want the best price I can possibly get. And
Right.
when I thought I was getting like the sweet $400 Hornady powder dropper, thing, and then at the Cops and Robbers match at my club this year,
Yeah.
and then the guy who got first in Cops, because the Cops get to go first, and the guy who got first snagged it already. I was like, where'd it go? Where's the thing? He's like, oh, I grabbed it.
Oh, the worst is when they grab it and then like, who wants to buy it from me? And you're like, I will kick
No,
you in the leg.
he kept it. That's
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
but no, I can find myself getting sucked into the prize table. Yes. But I'm also just, hey, I mean, my wife, when I come home from a match, she's like, did you win anything? Because once I started bringing home cool stuff like binoculars or like I brought home I won a scope the first time I went to the Zombies in the Heartland 3-gun match.
Oh, cool.
I brought home some fairly high dollar things. And
3 Guns legendary for that.
and by the way, that Zombies in the Heartland match, like, it may not be the fairest match you'll ever shoot, but it's fun. It's really fun. I got into a knockdown drag out with whoever was allegedly the range master. Like, hey, the stage brief said I had to get the fish into the cab of the pickup. Well, they got into the cab of the pickup, but there was no back window, and the fish flew out the back window. They were in the pickup. They just didn't stay in the pickup.
You are the rules Nazi.
I am a rules Nazi. So because the thing I was thinking about after I listened to Ben's podcast yesterday was, okay, cash payouts would be really simple. It'd be way easier than going and buying a bunch of shit and then to supplement what we
Right.
get from sponsors. Have that, and then also like raffle, just random draw cash prizes too.
And that's the important part, because like when I listened to Ben's podcast, he talked about giving it to like division winners, and like my snarky ass is like, so you would like the C-class shooters to get on their knees and bow before you and each give every GM $20 to be like, I know you're going to beat me. Here's your $20 just out of like, we'll just get this out of the way. And it's like,
Here's the thing though, like if I did cash payouts though, I would do it just like awards.
right. And I get that method totally, but it also is kind of like you will get down to a point where you're like, hey, here's $20, and you're like,
Yeah, but I
Okay.
don't care. Like, I mean, I don't shoot the sport for prizes or money.
I'm in the same boat as you, 100%.
Honestly,
but
the only thing that would piss me off is if they're not handing out trophies. Like, I like to go and do well at an event and to not have any recognition of that. Like, that would piss me off. And that I felt bad a couple of years ago at Great Plains. I completely forgot to look at because the first year we didn't have enough of any what do they call it? Like, lady and senior and super senior and
Oh,
what
yeah,
do
the
they call those?
categories.
The categories. I completely forgot to even look at categories, and there was a shitload of open seniors
right. Well,
at the
and
second
I'm-
one we had, and a guy was kind of pissed because he would have been first senior in open.
I'm just going to make the snarky response that as
I
a
know,
millennial,
I know.
I don't really care too much about my medals, but it is one of those interesting things. Is it's like, what do the people value? Like, what are they looking for? And I find like the top level guys, yeah, it's just another trophy, but they're like, hey, let me hit that price.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I think a
time
lot
here-
of those guys don't really care that much about the prize table either. You know, it's just like, hey, it's there. You know, I personally would have been really pissed if I never got my Iowa section trophy. That, hey, I had first A class. You had what, second or third M class?
Probably. I don't know that I ever got mine. It might be in my.
You didn't get yours? Well, I saw it on the internet. I know it exists. Everybody got theirs like last week. I'm sure you got it. You're just so cool. You don't care.
I just don't check my mail. Well, yeah, I don't know.
It arrived in
again,
a couple of different white packages. I'll just say that. But
okay, because again, Magnus stole the last one I care about.
But here's the thing, though. What I'm getting at with the plaques and the trophies is, like, to me, it's about the sport. I don't care about the prize table. I don't care about cash payouts. I really don't. Like, any of that, it's just gravy. That I don't care.
Right.
To me, it's about the sport. I'm literally the dork who's like, for the love of the game. That's why I'm showing up to matches. That's why I'm working matches. That's why I'm a match director. It's literally for love of the game. And I don't give a shit about the cash payouts or the prize table. I love the sport, and I'm here to compete and do as well as I can. And I understand that my match videos are relatively boring unless they're all steel to most people who ever watch them.
Right. So I'm honestly in the same boat as you. It's like if there was no I don't think I even won something from a prize table until like 5 years into it. They're like, oh yeah, you qualify for the prize table. And I was like, oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I guess and I picked up a cert that I think I gave to somebody else because I was like, it's not anything I need, but you need it. But it's for me. Like, I'll shoot a match to shoot a match. Like, I've never cared about the prize table. It's not important to me. I just if you're going to do cash payouts, you have to be equitable about their distribution, because if you only do it by, hey, we're just giving this to division winners and the top 3 from every division, it's like, cool. Why don't you just make the C-class guys give the GM some money? Because that's what it's going to turn into. Like, we know who the top 5 at Great Plains and at Cornhusker are going to be. Like, we can probably guess. Like, it's not going to be we know who's going to be.
We could do that
there.
in the next episode. Who's going to be top 5 at Cornhusker and Great Plains? Because we have the registration in front of us. Like,
right?
Why not?
We can do the over-unders and start a betting pool.
Yeah, and then we'll make money that way.
There you go.
Yeah,
see,
we'll make money on that.
We don't need no ads.
Yeah. Screw you, Podbean. Fuck you, Podbean. Like, I go to turn on ads, and then I get a notification that says we did not pass the safety check.
I wonder what fucking reason they gave for that.
Now, I subscribed to the Casual Shooter podcast, and it came on, and the first thing that played was an ad. And when I heard the ad, I went and looked to see what podcast was playing. Is this what podcast? Oh, yeah, it's Casual Shooter, and they're on Podbean. Dave's on Podbean. But he doesn't say fuck as much as we do. I don't think it's the gun talk or the self-defense or violence talk that you like to bring in. I think it's because we say fuck too much. I think that's why.
Which I always American censorship culture confuses me.
I know.
Like, nipples and fuck are like the two things Americans are like, absolutely not. Band of Brothers is on. You watch a dude's finger get blown off. You're like, yes, this is exactly what's supposed to be.
You are playing into exactly what the story I was about to tell. So last weekend, I'm at a Super Bowl party, and he was one of the friends I was talking to. Like, it was like 3 couples together in our families for a Super Bowl party, and Band of Brothers came up, and I'm like, hey, like, one of the 3 of us had never seen it. I'm like, you were in the military and you've never seen Band of Brothers? Like, how long have you been a member of Al Qaeda? What is wrong with you? Right. And so I mentioned, like, yeah, I watched it with my youngest son. He loved it. It was fantastic. He thought it was one of the greatest things he's ever seen. And he said, so did I, but I stopped it short of that scene where that chick's riding him when they're in Germany. And I said, yeah, that happened to me too. And like, oh yeah, the guy getting his finger blown off, and getting shot in the neck, but that's fine. But
right,
nipples, we can't have nipples. Like,
right.
That's going too far. But it's okay if we see a guy's leg get blown off. That's fine.
Right, we see two dudes just laying there with their legs just in shambles, like
Nah, it's
barely
fine.
hanging on by threads. You're like,
That's
"Yeah,
fine."
that's fine. But like one naked chick, you're like, oh my god, we gotta, this could scar a child.
They're the same nipples I have, just a lot more fatter on them. Yes, this is scarring for children.
Yes, not the dude's finger just blown straight off.
Yeah. Like, okay, Band of Brothers is the finest television that's ever been created. And the Pacific
100%.
was very well produced.
I'm a nerd who's gone to Guadalcanal and I've never even finished the Pacific. Like, it's so hard to watch.
It's so hard to watch. It's tough. Yeah. The episodes that have Eugene Sledge are the ones worth watching.
For me, it's like the one episode that like got me was when it had a bunch of flashbacks, and I'm like, I'm really getting out of this whole like I'm in, war by you cutting back to, oh hey, I'm not at war. Like I need you to like stick to one thing.
Yeah. Well, and part of it wasn't flashbacks. Part of it was the John Basilone story because he got married, and he won the Congressional Medal of Honor, and then he got married, and then he decided, nope, I'm re-upping in the Marine Corps, and then he got killed at Iwo Jima. Spoiler alert. And and we got to see boobs, because he got married and had a honeymoon or whatever, and
right.
And it's HBO, but it's not as good as Band of Brothers. It's just not.
No, and I haven't watched Masters of the Air yet, but like
no, but the previews did not attract me, and I haven't heard anybody say like, "Oh my god, you've got to see this."
Most of what I've heard about it is that it like because it's like you get up in the air, they all have their masks on, so you don't really get that like personal connection to them, and there's no like, oh my god, if this guy gets out of this, he might die type situation. It's more like, well, hopefully his bomber doesn't get chosen out of the 500 other bombers that are in this thing, and like he has no choice on like what he must do. He must stand on gun until bombs are dropped and go back other way. Like end of equation.
Yeah,
it's less personable,
and that's what made Band of Brothers so great. Even though it was actually a more macro version of like looking. I mean, it's looking at a whole platoon or company. Really, right. I mean, they did narrow in on a certain number of characters, but like it's the story of a company, whereas the Pacific was sort of zeroed in on like 4 or 5 people, and it was taken from a couple of different books that were written by soldiers from there. But it just, I mean, and by the way, the Eugene Sledge, the E.B. Sledge book with the Old Breed, I bought that after watching the Pacific and read that book, and I was just like, wow, this is really good. And I loaned it to my dad, and he read it, and he's read he had read everything. And my wife and I and my family we're on our way back from her folks in Minnesota, and I get this random call from my dad, and he could speed read. Like I'm a slow reader because like I'm a very auditory person. I have to like hear every word in my head. I can't speed read. He can speed read. So he read with the Old Breed in like a Sunday afternoon. And he calls me up and goes, "So I just finished that book you loaned me." "Yeah? What'd you think?" "That is the best soldier memoir I have ever read." And I was like, yeah, it's good. Like if you've never read With the Old Breed by E.B. Sledge or listened to the audiobook has the actor from the Pacific. That's really good, actually. I've listened to it and I've read it, and it's fantastic. But anyway, we're way off topic. USPSA is going to have a board meeting next week.
Oh, that should be productive.
They're actually gonna talk about finances, Jeff. The
yay.
finances of USPSA are gonna be talked about.
So we're only going to lose $350,000 this year?
Well, that's so negative. Why do you have to be so negative, Jeff? Oh my gosh.
I'm a negative Nancy.
So, board meeting agenda. There's a lot on the agenda. This is looking like a 2-night thing, especially if they try to kick somebody out of the org.
That'd be great.
So they're going to review bylaw 3.1. That was Ben Barry's thing. Shit, I can't remember what it was. I don't know what that is. Okay. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't understand what it is. Committee policy review and assignments, blah, blah, blah. Managing director will provide a financials report. So I don't know what that means. If there's a budget or whatever. The most notable thing under new business, Area 3 Director 7.7 formal legal opinion presentation and review. So we're going to find out whether or not I'm going to remain a candidate for Area 3 or not.
I don't mean it's in a bad way, but I hope you're not a candidate. But
I agree with you. I hope I hope the legal opinion is that y'all fucked up and you should not have, like, bylaw 7.7 is not legal under Delaware law. So if that's the case, and then Scott's back in and I'm basically a moot point as an Area 3 candidate, thank you everyone who signed a petition, but you were unnecessary, and I'm happy. And I think most of us in Area 3 will be happy. So that's the big thing. Also, right under that is the trademark application review.
What's going to trademark next?
Oh God. What could they trademark? They did trademark
Pistol?
IPSC.
Maybe maybe they'll try to trademark open division, because there's never been a sport with an open division before.
Open. Yeah, limited optics is going to get added to Steel Challenge, whatever. Posting the live stream recording. In other words, why don't we post the live stream recording to our own YouTube channel instead of letting Derek post it to the Insights channel on YouTube? Is basically what that is.
I mean, they're not wrong.
No. But if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be up, you know? Like, of course it should have been. And
right, because like no one should want to watch a board meeting. Never in my life have I ever gone, you know what, I want to watch a board meeting.
You know,
no, it should be so boring that no one wants to watch it, but you've made it entertaining because you do dumb shit every time.
Back during COVID, I was watching like the Sioux Falls City Council meetings because
Jesus.
What? Oh, I know, but it was like, are they going to try and keep us from buying food in stores, or are we going to have to order like it was, you know, what are they going to do with the city? Like, because like our governor was not doing anything, but like there was potential that our city was going to try and do something. And so I was very interested to watch that. And so, but since then I have not watched a single city council meeting. They're terrible. They're boring. But USPSA board meeting, you never know when someone's going to get evicted. So it's always worth watching. The A4, they're also going to, appointment for interim A4 is going to be brought up. We have an Area 1 director now, Jim Boone. That's in an official. I was looking at you know where the pages for it took me forever to find it, because there is a listing of the area directors on the USPSA website. Do you know where you have to go to find it?
No, it's not a very navigable.
It's
website.
the least navigable website in the history of websites. It's almost as bad as a government website. If you go to Media and Info, and then go to Contact Us, that's section under Media and Info, and then click on Full Directory. Then you get the pictures and whatnot of the people who work at USPSA, and then finally you get down there and you get Yeeman, no picture, and then you just get maps of the areas and whatever. So Jim Boone is our Area 1 director until the end of 2025. Area 4 vacant, Area 3 vacant. but the terms are not quite correct. Like Russell Fortney's listed as Area 8. Current term 2020 to 2023. Next election July 2023. That was last year. Like that already happened.
I know some tech people they could hire to actually make it a functioning website. I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey, that sounds insulting to me. What are you talking about? Not another shootingshow.com. Still not exactly up and running, but it's there. Yeah. Some of the term and election dates are kind of wrong on there, but as someone who manages websites, also it's a pain in the dick. It really is. Okay. Anything else, Jeff? I think we've done enough damage, haven't we?
I believe we've done enough damage. Someone's going to get cut.
Okay. Well, yeah, there's a fair bit that's going to get cut, and we got a little more drunk this week, or at least I did towards the end of the show. But anyway, thank you all for listening. Leave us a review, a rating, subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Get in touch with us. We'll have a meeting, a way for you to get in touch with us at some point here once the website's up. And I'll argue with Jeff about how to do that. He's Jeff King. I'm Andy Erickson. This is Not Another Shooting Show.